What's up, guys? Dave here, back with another reaction video. I got a special request today from my buddy Rob Strange McNamara. Rob, thank you for the request. He wanted me to review the song Dear Coach's Corner by a band called Propagandhi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's like propaganda, but with Gandhi in it. So I think I am. Propagandhi. I'm not sure. I have not heard this song. I have heard the name Propagandhi before or seen it, and I wonder if that might be only from a Rob Strange Saturday night Twitch DJ stream. That's what I'm guessing, because I don't recall any songs by them. I did a little bit of poking around on the internet, and they are a Canadian band, been around for decades, and kind of like a punk rock, now more metalish kind of band, and very active, kind of activist lyrics, and I think Wikipedia said they were active in like speaking up about human rights violations, and they're vegans, which I thought that was funny to include that. But anyways, I think they probably are a band that has a lot to say. Interesting, they're from, I believe, Alberta or Manitoba. I couldn't quite understand, but more typically conservative parts of Canada. And so for like a maybe, well, we'll see, but maybe far left Canadian punk band to come out of those places is kind of interesting to me. So this song's called Dear Coach's Corner. The only Coach's Corner I know is Don Cherry and Ron McLean, which is not on anymore because Don got fired a few years ago, I guess now. But growing up, I remember Coach's Corner on Hockey Night in Canada. So the fact that the band's Canadian is saying to me that this is probably about the same Coach's Corner that I remember, but we'll see. Rob sent me this link to a video that has lyrics, so that's what we'll be watching. Here we go. Oh, let me click this so you guys can see it too. All right, here we go.
That was sickening last week, by the way.
What? What is going on with you here?
No, it's not. What is this stuff on here? We're Hockey Night in Canada, and we're talking about saving the world.
That's Don.
And all that stuff. Let's talk hockey.
Well, that's the whole idea behind December the 25th.
Let's talk about some good guys.
Okay.
Let's talk about the troops.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I gotta rewind that. So this is Don Cherry and Ron McLean talking, I guess from a Coach's Corner. And it seems like Don is mad about something that they talked about the week before. And Ron is trying to defend it. Let's hear it again.
That was sickening last week, by the way.
What?
That was sickening last week, by the way, he says. The lyrics aren't there for this part.
That was sickening last week, by the way.
What? What is going on with you here?
No, it's not. What is this stuff on here? We're Hockey Night in Canada, and we're talking about saving the world and all that stuff. Let's talk hockey.
Well, that's the whole idea behind December the 25th.
That's the whole idea behind December the 25th, saving the world.
Hockey Night in Canada, and we're talking about saving the world and all that stuff. Let's talk hockey.
Well, that's the whole idea behind December the 25th.
Let's talk about some good guys.
Okay.
Let's talk about the troops.
Let's talk. Oh, I think it just got loud there. Let me turn it down. Let's talk about some good guys. Let's talk about the troops. Okay. I don't know what the comments were. I wish I knew what they had talked about the previous Coach's Corner, so I had some context for this. I'm aware of some of the controversial things that Don said over the years. You know, he would have disparaging things to say about European players, and I remember, I think the kind of comment that got him eventually fired was about poppies and noticing that people weren't wearing poppies around Remembrance Day, and sort of blaming immigrants for it, being like it's you people or it's them, or I don't remember the exact quote of it. And that got him into hot water, and I think eventually was the reason he got fired. I don't pay that much attention. Again, I'm a basketball guy in a hockey world up here in Canada, but Something like that. But this seems longer ago than that and like a different thing. So I'm not sure what he said or what the conversation was that he's mad about in this part. But anyways, let's get the song going here. Oh, yeah. I'm not big into like super heavy guitarish kind of music in general, but I mean, you got to respect the talent. And it's like electricity just filling up the room there. That was good. Let me pull that back a little bit. Wow. Let's get right into it.
Dear Ron McLean, get Coach's Corner. I'm writing in order for someone to explain.
So a lot of times I find with like heavier punk or metal music, what I don't like about it is I can't hear the person singing and I can't make out the lyrics. And these guys came in strong with the guitars, shredding around, having some fun. And then when this guy starts singing, the music pulled back and you can hear him very clearly. And so I'm digging this because I want to hear the singer. Let me just pull it back. So he's saying, "Dear Ron McLean." Okay. So like if you know Coach's Corner, Ron McLean represented a little bit more progressive side, and Don was always the more conservative side. They weren't like, night and day apart, but that was always kind of the tension on the show. Ron would be a little more of this. If you're a Red Green fan, Ron McLean was Harold and Don Cherry was Red. A little bit of that older generation, younger generation kind of vibes going on. And interesting that he's writing. It seems like already it's like he's saying, addressing or writing a letter to Coach. So that's, I guess, Dear Coach's Corner. But he's saying, "Dear Ron McLean." So I wonder what he wants to say to Ron, because I would have thought if this is a lefty progressive punk band that they would have a problem with Don. So let's see.
Dear Ron McLean, get Coach's Corner.
I like that with the drum. Yeah.
I'm writing in order for someone to explain. To manage the distinction between these men.
This guy's a good singer.
Tory Pregame group rights of submission. And the rallies at Nuremberg.
Okay. So maybe, okay. So he's writing to Ron McLean asking for an explanation in order for someone to explain to my niece okay, so this is like a letter of like a concerned uncle. Someone needs to explain to my niece the distinction between these mandatory pregame group rights of submission. Mandatory pregame group rights of submission. What does that mean? And the rallies at Nuremberg. Is that like the national anthem? But it seems like he's writing Ron. Maybe he's writing Ron because it's like he's reasonable. Like I can't. Like Don won't be able to answer this, so I'm gonna write Ron. I'll bring it back.
Get Coach's Corner. I'm writing in order for someone to explain.
Love that drum.
To manage the distinction
That's nice.
between these mandatory pregame group rights of submission and the rallies at Nuremberg.
That's if he's talking about like like this, like the national anthem or what, like kind of patriotic things before a sports game. And then, like, in some ways, yeah, it's similar to the rallies at Nuremberg, I guess. But it's also, like, I don't know. It's also a lot different in my mind, too. Like, those are not exactly the same.
Specifically the function, the ritual serves in conjunction with what everybody knows is in the end a kid's game.
So hockey is a kid's game. So why do we need, why are we stacking military, I guess, or patriotic idealism? Why are we clumping it together with a kid's game? I guess is what he's saying here. That's interesting. It's interesting. I'll back it up a little bit. He's using some big words here. I might have to go look up conjunction.
Specifically the function, the ritual serves in conjunction with what everybody knows is in the end a kid's game. I'm just appealing to your sense of fair play when I say she's puzzled by this incessant pressure for her to magnify collective will, yet a rip in the pales.
Okay. So he's saying that he sees these pregame patriotic things, if there's maybe troops being honored or whatever, the flags, the national anthem, he's seeing those as these are all like subtle or not so subtle mechanics or whatever the government is using to get people to kind of suppress their own reason or whatever and go along with the collective will. Like that it's like the fist in the iron fist in the velvet glove, getting his niece, who's just a kid at a young age, to like go along with this. I think that's what I'm getting here. That's interesting. I remember I don't like when people target kids with stuff. I'm not saying I don't know if I agree with this or not. It's kind of a new way of thinking for me. But I remember I worked as a youth pastor at a church for a number of years, and I remember going to a conference and hearing the speaker say, your job as a youth pastor is really important because you got to get kids to believe in Christianity, because our studies show that once they turn 18 or 20 or 25, like the older they get, the less chance people have of converting. And I remember sitting in the room and being like, what? Like, and it seemed like everyone else was like, yeah, you're right. It is, yeah, we got to do this before they get too old. And in my mind, I was like, holy shit, like, what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to convince some kid. But if that's true, then let's wait till they're 40 before we talk to them. I'm not trying to pull one over on a kid. What the heck are you talking about? I remember just absolutely hating that line of reasoning, and then also hating that no one else seemed to have a problem with it. But so when I hear this about, hey, you're targeting a kid's game, that perks my ears up.
As the soldiers inexplicably repel down from the arena rafters, if that's so insane, we'll be crushed for screaming laughter.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I wonder if some hockey games that happens. Soldiers rappel down from, like, the only thing I could think of is sometimes there's military doing the anthem, and then sometimes, like the Super Bowl, they do the jets flying over, right? Which, like, it is a show of military power, I guess. But I haven't seen people rappel and stuff. I don't know. I've been to quite a few sporting events. I'm not sure it's quite this military patriotic at the start. That from the vibe that I actually get.
But
these guys are Canadian. They're talking about Canada.
Dear Ryan McLean, I wouldn't bother with these questions if I didn't sense some spiritual connection. We may not be the same.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
So he's saying, I'm writing you, Ron, because I think we could talk at least.
We're from different planets. We both love this game so much we can hardly fucking stand it. Alberta born.
Alberta born.
Ain't a sheet of ice on the 501 plane. Pedal Q.
Oh, I like that bar right there. Alberta born and prairie raised, ain't a sheet.
Alberta born. Prairie raised.
Ain't a sheet of ice north of Fargo I ain't played. That's a bar right there.
Let's
go. It's interesting he's defending hockey, though, which is such a military sport. Like, such a aggressive, violent sport. And, like, you know, I think all sports, or most sports we have, find their roots in some kind of military training, if you go back far enough, right? It's kind of the purpose of them. You can't watch the Olympics and watch the biathlon and not tell me that was just an army training exercise for shooting people in the snow. Come on. You know? Keeping the young warriors fit and trained and ready for combat, like that's kind of where sports came from. So then now being like, well, it's too, I don't know. It's kind of what sports are. You know? That's a good line. Talking about, hey, like, how fast we get from just disagreeing about something to, well, you're treasonous. You're not a patriot. You don't love the country. You don't love the flag. You don't, like, that's, if people can get there so quickly and name call, and then there's, like, no coming back from that, right? Yeah. I understand that slippery slope that he just made. That was nice. Let's watch that again. If diversity is disagreement, and disagreement is truth. That's Don he's talking about. Oh, hold on. That's a bar right there. It takes a village to raise a child, but just a flag to raise the children. Dang. That's a bar. Holy cow. I like that. That's good. It's good. That's a good one. I mean, I get it, what he's saying, but it's like, I don't feel like I have a problem separating that I love Canada with that there's still things about the country that are not right. Like, to me, like, they're talking about this, like, this flag, this nationalism, leveling children, wiping them out. They talked about the collective will earlier. And to me, as long as, like, nationalism and being a patriot is fine, as long as it doesn't supersede your own conscience and reason. Right? You can't just, if you check out your own brain and your own heart about what's right and wrong and what's good and bad and what's true and false, if you say I'm gonna suppress my own and just let the collective will tell me what those things are, that's a problem. It doesn't matter if it's a religion or a nation or whatever, at whatever group, gang, whatever you just say I'm giving that up to this group. That's bad in my opinion. But if you're able to hold on to your brain and your heart and keep that in control, but then be happy and thankful about and aware of your country or the religion that you believe in or whatever, then that's fine. So I'm not sure. Like my kids grew up singing the national anthem at school every morning, and they're not destroyed, and they're not consumed with like a blind support of Canada that they would do, horrible things for it. Like, I don't know. But that's a bar, nonetheless.
Don't raise the children till they are nothing more than balance for fulfilling.
I see.
A madman's dream of a paradise complexity reduced to black and
It's good lines in this, like reducing just to be ballast for fulfilling a madman's dream of paradise. Like basically you're just conditioning young people to become fodder so that some powerful person who's crazy anyways can mold the world in the way that he or she wants to, right? And that's a really powerful like if you can convince enough young people to do that, they'll fight your wars for you, right? That's powerful. That's powerful. I'd be interested in like watching people who've been in the military's reaction to this. It's interesting to me. Complexity is reduced to black and white. That's true. One thing I found about people like Don Cherry is they reduce it to something. They talk about a complex subject as if it's very simple. And sometimes that's good. It like trims the fat and gets to the heart of the issue. But sometimes you just miss so much of reality by just trying to, no, it's just this or this. That's it. You just wear a poppy. That's it. It's more complex than that. I protect her from this cult of death. Alright, I think it just kind of fades out here. Alright, very cool. Thank you, Rob, for the song request. Very interesting, thought-provoking tune. I think I heard somewhere that in the US anyways, that the military pays the NFL a bunch of money for airtime. And that's when I heard that, I'm like, that doesn't sound good to me. I always assumed the NFL was sort of like, we're America, so we support the troops, and that was just something the NFL did. Almost like as a goodwill kind of thing, like to just get fans who also love the military, supported the military, to be like, yeah, we love the NFL even more. Like I thought it was just a decision they made, like a branding decision almost. But to hear that, if I don't even know if that's true, so you guys can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I heard that the military actually, the army like pays them a bunch of money. So really, what's the difference between that and anyone targeting a kid to try to convince them of something, before they have a defense against it? That bothers me, On the other hand, I've watched a lot of sporting events, a lot of Super Bowls, and I'm not brainwashed. So I'm not sure it's worked. I don't know. I don't think I am anyways. Would I know? I don't know. You guys tell me. But interesting. And I'm interested and curious if the Canadian government does that. I don't think our military has any money, so I'm not sure they'd have any to give. But maybe they do. And I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, guys, if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Apparently there's a bell to click somewhere as well. So if you see a bell on your screen, click that. If you have another song request for me, maybe something similar to this, maybe something totally different, whatever, let me know. Throw it up in the comments section below, or hit me on Discord, or just, I don't know, yell it really loud. If you're in Southern Ontario, I'll probably hear you. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again. Later.